Hey guys, welcome back to my Minecraft videos. I'm in my mini games world, of course, and I'm gonna make another mini game. No, it's not golf. I'm sure not. I'm still not sure on how to go with that. I don't know if I want to do commands or if I want to do, just regular. Anyways, I'm gonna make bowling. I don't really know how to make an intro, but you get the point. I'm making bowling. It's gonna be mainly command based, and it's not really a tutorial. It's more of just a video of me doing this because, why not? And it'll, yeah. So, wow. So, like I said earlier, like 3 seconds ago, this is going to be mainly command based. So, don't expect it to be survival friendly if you somehow try to do something like this. And again, not really a tutorial, but, know, I guess you can look at some stuff. But, yeah, I'm just gonna, I'm probably gonna try and make bowling. All right, so I've gone ahead and finished up what I had throw. So now we can actually adjust the power, and I have a little scale right here. I'm using stained glass just to make it simple. So we have weakest, which is, green. Then you got lime, then you got yellow, then you got orange, and finally red, which is the strongest. So you got a bit of a gradient or like a scale here that you can use to tell what's the strength level, and I still have this, to set whatever it is. And for now, I can summon in some, what is this, blue ice sulfur cubes, so that you can tell what the strength difference is. It is gonna be a little bit weird because I'm launching them, but you get to see. So I can click, and it will summon a little block display, and then if I drop, it will activate. And if you happen to drop, it does end up breaking, and you can see that it increases in length for each thing. You can better tell if like I put it right there. You see, you can gauge it off the blocks, and it does it gets a higher strength too. And you probably notice I've moved up the thing quite a lot because I've had to add quite a lot of command blocks. So we can go ahead and start testing now. And this is 1, 2, 3, oh, 4, and 5. So as you can see, it's got a bit of a wave motion, but it's a pretty diagonal line because, well, all it is going up by a little bit. Essentially, the dark green right here, this block, if it wasn't obvious, green stained glass, that's level 1. It's damage because I'm just using a damage command since there's no actual way to fluently make something go. So the easiest way that I thought of was using a sulfur cube and damaging it by your direction, and that gives it a nice clean slide. It might, change the knockback resistance of these dudes, of course, but for now this works. So this is 2, the first level. This is a damage level of 2. The second level is a damage level of 4. The third level is a damage level of 6. The fourth level is a damage of 8, and the fifth level is a damage of 10. It starts from 2 and goes to 10. It just increases by 2 from each level since there are 5 levels, because I thought that'd be, pretty good. And I went with the classic, if you play like those odd mobile games, you'll see that the strength level is usually red is the strongest and green is the lightest. So that's what I did. But that should lead to a proper thing like that. That's why it has a diagonal line, because of its actual increasing. But it's not too hard of a thing to make. It's very simple, even though there are that many command blocks just for this. It's not really that much. It's mainly just for the whole ability to swap each power of this, because since I'm changing the scale of the block display, essentially you're going to have to start teleporting it farther and farther away. So each thing has its own teleporter and its own thing to make sure that it's not overlapping. It has to kill the initial, so like it just killed the dark, the darker green, the actual green, and then it spawned in the light one. And then You got to do another one. It's got to kill the lime one, spawn in the yellow one, and so on. And essentially, there's also an intermediary, so it doesn't continuously kill and keep on spawning, as it would lag a lot. So there is a small thing to like fix your scoreboard. It'll set up your scoreboard so like, okay, summon this in. Then once you actually summon it in, it will it'll take down the scoreboard. So so it doesn't summon in anymore. Summon in more, yeah, because the summon command has a detector for like, I can't really explain this very well, but you could say, I know this is a very odd thing I'm using. This is the initial, so this is what gives you the actual scoreboard for like, hey, you need to spawn in a new dude. Then over here, this is the intermediary, which deals with some of the stuff, and then this is the final thing. So we can say that this goes off. It says, hey, you need to summon in a new one. Then it goes over and it checks, hey, I have that score because it's a scoreboard, and it's like, oh, I need to kill the first one and then summon in the new one. And then that's the summon in the new one, you could say. Or it's the turn off the thing. Like I could, for example, just do a log. So if we were to say, hey, you need to summon in, or you need to kill the initial power, the force, because I have these labeled as forces, force block displays. So then this interprets that and it kills it. But then you have another one that says, hey, you need to now summon in a new one. So then this one summons in a new one. And then it's like, at the end, you don't need another dude saying, hey, you need to turn this off. You can just immediately shut it off because of how chain command blocks work. Works in a sequence, so you can automatically know that it will run these first, and then finally be able to run this one and turn it off. Of course, if you have some issues, you probably use like conditional command blocks, but I don't ever use them. I haven't ever needed to because of how I do my stuff. So that's a way to explain it. I know that this entirely is this is a very odd way of explaining it. I just thought of something on the spot, so who wouldn't even know? Am I right? So I think is what I have to deal with now is, oops. Sorry, something popped up when a screen, little pop-up. Sorry, screen pop-up appeared and my game bugged out. As I was saying, I think is what I'll deal with next is the actual ball itself and the pins. I think I know how to deal with them. Like I said, I'm probably gonna use sulfur cubes, and I think I will just adjust the knockback resistance as I'd like, and we can change the pins knockback resistance. I don't know if that changes, or I can change their friction modifier, their bounciness. That's the ability of using slash attribute, because you can change like an entity, so you can just say whatever, which the nearest entity, since I'm running it, it's just going to be me. I can change my air drag modifier, or I can change my bounciness. I can also change my friction modifier, so I can make it so that these will be super slidey. So I could instead give this, which is sandstone, very slow. I can attribute it, so attribute, this is the entity, it's just how they mark it with Minecraft. I can change its friction modifier, so I can get it, and its friction modifier, my bad. It is currently 0.3, so I can set it, base set, to, for whatever you want, you can put it to like 0. And now, see, it just continuously keeps on going. And I don't think it'll ever stop, in fact, so I should set it to 0.1, so that it does come to a stop. And I can actually get this one, so slash attribute, this entity, which is the blue ice, where is it? The friction modifier, get, so its friction modifier is 0.05, so I can set this one to 0.05, and now it has the same friction, it has the same slidiness, you could say, of blue ice. You see? It's just that this has a different knockback resistance, so it'll take more punches or less punches than it will take for this one. Essentially, I'll edit it how I need to so that I can deal with each pin or the bowling ball itself, and I should be able to deal with that pretty well. So that's just a simple explanation. Kind of went off on this. I kind of went and got sidetracked, but just to give a that's just to give a better explanation. So there you go. All right, I better get to work now. All right, so I've gone ahead and added a ton more command blocks, like a lot more, like you know. It's pretty simple. It's just a lot of special things for each pin and stuff. It got really annoying. I had to do each individual pin because I tried to do one command block to do multiple things and kind of bugged out. So just for it to, work better, work properly, for less stuttering with the actual commands and messing up, then I've just made a bunch of custom ones for each individual pin. So as down there, you can probably see I've made a little mock-up bowling arena. This isn't going to be the final version, of course, but right now we have the absolute, like, most raw version, most stripped down version of bowling that you can get. So right here, let's go. Yeah, I had a lot of command blocks to deal with. So we still have the strength system over here, and we got our bowling ball, which, just a polished black stone, and then we also have our pins. So I kind of got carried away with this. So the pins are like very interactive, you could say. So let's try and strike some pins. Oops, I forgot you had to be really close to this. I will change that. Oh, what do you know? Well, that gives you a good example. Of course, I will make this a lot bigger because, but as you can see for now, the pins they actually move, you see? So here's just I have no strength. I was just checking if I had strength. The pins rotate a tad, and they'll fix their rotation if it's not too strong, as you can see. So if it's a really weak rotation, it won't do anything, but if it's a strong, like a medium one, it will slightly do something. But if it's really strong, it will fall over. It's kind of hard to do with no strength. Oh, I forgot I could just walk into it. Yeah, so it falls over. It's a very simple system. It would be very easy to do. It's just I had to do a bunch of custom ones for each individual pin. Like, each of these have to count. All of these are 3 block displays, 3 individual things, so you already have to times the command blocks by 3. And to separate them, I have to make, each thing have a specific tag. So each pin has like pin tag, the sulfur cube itself, because these are sulfur cubes. That's how I can get the easier physics engine. They have this sulfur cube, for example, has, like, you could say pin 3. Then all of these have pin, bowling pin viz 3 because it's the third pin in the actual selection. So that's just that's why there's so many of these, but that does work. This does work so far. But I will have to still make the rest of it. But right now this does actually work. Like, if I wanted to just play it just like this, then this would technically work, as it is bowling. I completely didn't even realize I messed that up. My gosh. But I'm still gonna go and actually make it look good because, like all of my games, my whole 3 games total now, if you include this, it's I try to make them look good. And you might have also noticed, like, you might have remembered if you actually watched the this video for the cube queue, I called it. Essentially, the sulfur cubes, they didn't have very good collision. They bugged out a lot because it's very hard to deal with it. And then they changed how the physics work with sulfur cubes, so it's even harder to deal with now. So how did I get such good collision like I did just now? Essentially, for each pin, I'm running a different damage. So the original, as I showed before, for each level of the throw, force, it does a different damage to this ball, the bowling ball, or to any entity. You can even, do these pins. I still haven't changed that because I like that feature. Oh, where did the pin go? Alright, well, that pin's gone. So essentially, this is always running a damage command. Yeah, you see? It's always running a damage command to this, so that also gives it a directional, like, push, so now it will directionally actually hit it, and it won't slide through since now it's continuously damaging it at the same time. And the sulfur cubes, they're invisible. They're invisible. I mean, technically they are, but they're invulnerable, and so they won't take any damage. Even if you use like slash damage, it has to be a damage type that they aren't, you know, they don't, take damage from. Like for example, like if what did I just say? Sorry, I'm stuttering a bit. All right. Like sulfur cubes, as an example, we can just I have actually a sulfur cube thing right here. This is a sulfur cube. You can have a regular sulfur cube too. Different. So you can punch this guy, but you can't punch this guy. He won't take any damage. But if you use something like a flint and steel or a fire charge, you set them on fire, it'll start taking fire damage. And essentially, on top of that, added the invulnerable tag to these guys, so they won't have that issue. You see? They have the invulnerable special NBT in like their summon commands. So that's just a really simple way of doing it. And that should prevent it from accidentally slash killing them or just, damaging too much to the point that they do die. But that's my current solution. I'm not going to show every command block because I'm sure you'd rather get to the point of the video instead of me, just doing this for 3 hours straight, just listing out every command block. But if you do want a tutorial, you can always ask me, I guess. So next, I think I'll try and actually get the game to actually work. Like, I'll try to make a proper ring, like a proper bowling area, one that would be scaled so it's actually proportionate to how powerful this one is. And I'll try to make it so that the return systems also work. Because currently, it obviously doesn't work. This is just for show. And this actually doesn't knock down anything. Like, if your pins were to fall in there, it wouldn't do anything. They would just be in there. And I'll probably make an actual round system so that they can reset the pins that actually do survive. So that should be a way for me to do everything. I might also change how strong this is, because essentially if we put this into simple terms, it takes about a damage of 300 or like a power of 300 to knock down one of these pins. On average, even with a low power, this ball gives about 200 to 250 power, so it can easily knock down a pin. But that explains why a regular person can't knock down a pin unless they were to collide with them. So I might have to change it so that that's like 800 or 500. I should have said that in the other order, so that it's more, difficult, so that you can't just immediately knock down the pins. Now, if I want, I can instead make that a difficulty setting, so you can have different difficulties. So you can say on hard difficulty it'll be like 800, medium it'll be 500, and easy it would be 300, which is what it is right now. So that could be an easy way for me to balance it. I'll get back with you in a bit. I mean, obviously you won't see how long it takes for me to do this, but you'll figure out how you'll figure out what I mean. Oh, wow. Um, so I accidentally just deleted the entire thing, and there is no way to undo it because I play in only vanilla Minecraft. So, just as an example, this is what the area was going to be before I accidentally destroyed the entire place. So, yeah, you see there, you might think there's a lot here, but you might also notice that it is severely gone. It used to go there, and I do not remember any of the command blocks. I did this all last night. I just got back on and accidentally deleted the entire thing somehow because I was going to clone it over so I could adjust some command blocks, and I completely screwed it up. So all that you have is that footage. I'm not redoing that, okay? Sorry, but I am not remaking that entire thing. Of course, like, unless I am absolutely supported to, I'm not remaking that entire thing. I'll have to do another thing, but sorry to completely crush your expectations as I have accidentally broken that entire thing, and we can just test if this would even work. See, I did have a grab thing set up, so this still works. And let me go see. So if I were to go down here, the ball just isn't here for some reason, but these dudes are. And you'll notice that the tracking for them is completely non-existent, and the rotation fixing and everything. So yeah, I accidentally broke everything. So the footage that you had, I'm just at least lucky that I got some footage so I can salvage it for a video. That's what you get, I guess. Well, oh man, I am. Ugh. Yeah, that felt terrible. Realizing what I accidentally did. There's no way for me to undo it. I don't have any backups of the world or anything. I was about to make a backup and I accidentally destroyed it all before I made the backup. So truly just terrible timing there and just a mistake on my part. I don't know why I'm staging this up as if I'm making an apology video because I've done something terrible, but right there is what you get. You'll just have to imagine that it was in here. And like I said, if I get some huge support or something, I don't know, I will try and remake it and reuse this build because I won't destroy the build, but I'll at least have something. I seriously will have to figure out what I'm gonna do next though, so maybe I'll do golf, but if I do golf, I at least want to do it with commands and properly do it this time, without all of this messed up. And yeah, I guess I just had a long day today, and I completely forgot what that command would do because I was gonna clone it down a single block, and then I filled it with air so that I could properly clone it down, and then I realized there's nothing to clone now since it's set with air. Now, why didn't I just use slash clone and then just break the single command block that would have been filled? I don't know. I felt like I might have lost track of the one command block, and yeah, I'm done with that. So if I don't upload for a while, I'll probably be doing something else. But for what we had, that was nice at least. Like I said, I might remake it in the future, like if I get some support or something. But otherwise, next mini game is going to be golf, and it is going to be very similar to what you've seen. Okay, either that or I'm just going to make some other things using commands because that's literally all I do. So I'm trying to keep a positive attitude of this, because I've at least learned a lot of things working on this bowling game. But again, as I stated, I completely destroyed it by accident. Do not remember any of the commands. So, yeah. Sorry for anyone who really was expecting something nice out of this, but it's gone. Yeah, I did not do this intentionally because I actually had a big idea. I thought I could make it into, multiplayer. Oh, excuse me, I just ate, so I was about to burp. But I had some good ideas for it, and I accidentally destroyed the whole thing. So I guess blame this on me or, whatever you want, because you know, I've completely messed up. You see, even reusing the clone, it doesn't work. So yeah, I just don't know what to do. I can't go into console and like remove whatever I did. I don't have any backups, like I said, so there is nothing I can do to get back to this. So like I said, might make something better, might make something later, might remake it, but at least you got some footage there. At least what I had left was existing bowling. All right, I was ecstatic about that, and that was a really fun time. I was able to have a lot of fun whenever I was playing with just those small amount of mechanics, but that's all we have now. So all of it's gone actually. We don't even have that. We have less than that. And yeah, so I just don't know what to do from there. So that's why I'm just ending it here. Like I said, again, Might remake it, but don't count on it, alright? Because I do not remember what I did at all. Like, I just make all of this stuff, and then I do not remember what I did, and I have barely any space on my computer, so I don't record every instance of what I do, so I can't just copy down what I did. So, yeah. Alright. Yeah, give me I don't know, tell me what you want next. What mini game would be good to make next and me not destroy, possibly. That might be a good idea for me to not destroy the entire thing. Alright, well, goodbye.